Hey guys, welcome back. If you've been a long-time subscriber, thank you so much for your support. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dustin. Welcome to Revere Glass, and today we're going to be making some glass pumpkins. I'm really excited about these pumpkins and I wanted to release them now so that you guys would have time to make them for your pumpkin patch this season for Halloween. I chose to do them in a few different colors and styles, and that way you can kind of get a variety of ways and techniques that you can use to help you with your own glasswork. If you're interested in joining me and learning more about glasswork and how to become a glassblower, please check out revereglass.com for way more in-depth information and tons of other community-based things, including workshops, projects, online forum, and so much more for you to enjoy glassblowing and the community. There's tons of people just like you around the world getting into this medium, and it's a perfect place to start off your career. I want to let you guys know that in just 1 week, we're going to be having an amazing workshop. It's a masterclass with Gus Glass, and he's going to be showing you guys how to do amazing line work. Make sure you sign up for that at revereglass.com. And if you sign up now, the next 3 people will get a 25% discount just using the coupon code WIGWAGGUS. Make sure you stay tuned for the whole video because I'm going to be giving away this V-blade marber and these Terp screws from Takota Madrona. The V-blade is of course from Mountain Glass. I want to thank them for supporting these videos and for supporting the entire glass community with amazing customer service, being able to ship anywhere all over the world. I really appreciate Mountain Glass, and I know all you guys do too. Thank you so much, Mountain Glass, for supporting these videos. Speaking of Mountain Glass, please comment on this video because in the next video, I'm going to be giving away these diamond shears. These are a great tool to add to your collection and they have so many uses. Also, make sure you comment on this video. I'm going to be giving away these 3 glass pumpkins to one of you guys. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you'll know when we release new videos. Thank you guys so much, and let's get in the studio. All right, you guys, welcome into the studio. I have a solid color blowout made of carmeline and super excited to show you guys how to make some pumpkins. That carmeline color is a very cool hype color, so it's just one bubble blown. Put that in there below and pop this out of the mold. All right, now you can see those lines on there, and that's going to kind of create that cool pumpkin effect. So heat that up, but you want to be careful not to heat up too much so the lines don't go away. Heat that up and blow. All right, you can see the lines and how it's heating up, and I'm just going to blow this into a round pumpkin shape. You can see the cool lines. Heat up the bottom, push that down. Make the bottom flat so it'll sit up nicely on a table. Now I'm going to use my graphite reamer to push this in just a little bit and to create a nice taper there, like indentation on the bottom. I'm going to use my mini torch now to pop a little hole because this is going to be sealed on the top and I don't want to create a vacuum. Sometimes you can create a vacuum if you're doing this in a soft glass technique, but because we're using borosilicate and we have to be spot heating it in a different way and the glass moves differently, you always want to put a little hole to make sure that you don't create a vacuum. Heat that up. I have my hole in there. Just going to push that in to make sure it still sits up properly, and now I'll attach a punny. Alright, so now I'm going to heat this up, remove my glass blow tube, have it connected to the punty, and I'll pick out any excess glass. So here I go, just picking out the excess glass, and now I'm going to make this top part flat, and that'll allow me to connect the little stem, the little vine that the pumpkin was growing off of. These are really cool. You can put them on your house for Halloween. Definitely a very classical soft glass technique, but I wanted to adapt it for borosilicate for all of you guys that have your setups at home and you want to try something cool and new. So here we go. We're gonna now condense a little bit of the green. We're gonna use sparkly green on this one as well. I just think that the purple and green would be a nice color combo together. You don't need too much of this particular glass to make the stem. And I have a smaller mold. I think I would have preferred a little bit bigger of this fin mold, but I don't have anything in between these two sizes, so out of the two it made sense to use this smaller one. So I'm going to push that in there and then push this all the way in, and that's going to create a nice ridges in the glass that I can twist up and make a vine. So I'm going to heat this up and grab it with the punty. There we go. Heat and twist. And now I'm going to pull this and create a nice long piece of glass that has a twist in it. And that's going to be the vine that the piece is growing off of. It's going to get a little bit hot on the end there, so you just kind of want to be careful with your flame. Make sure that you pull this off as much as you can. And even out the thickness by going back in and heating. You definitely want to be careful not to heat it too much so that the lines don't go away. And then put a little twist in there. Twist that around. There you go. You can see that that's kind of vine looking like the end of a pumpkin. Twist that off, pull off that end a little bit, and make sure that's nice and even. And now I'm going to attach this end to the pink pumpkin. I love this color, this Carmeline from North Star. Got to give Abe Fleischman a shout out. Probably had a big role in bringing this color to market. Heat that up and push it together. There we go, and that's connected. Now I'm going to remove the excess glass from the clear side of this and kind of have that come into a nice taper. This is definitely a small pumpkin, maybe a crab apple or something like that, but wanted to start off with this one. You guys keep these small. If you want, you can definitely fabricate a mold like I have here if you have some metalworking skills. You could also carve those lines in with a butter knife. That will work as well. And you can also probably get a mold like this at Mountain Glass Arts. Alright, heat this up and push that down just so it's kind of close to the pumpkin but not touching it, you know, looking a little organic and natural. I love this color combination. Pick off the end, bring it to a little point. And now I'm going to go around with my mini torch and make sure that that seal is completely sealed in and good to go. Alright, going in here and just going around the whole seal, making sure that that flow is really nice, and that way I'll prevent any cracking or anything like that from happening. You definitely want to make sure you keep your heat on this piece, because if you let that punny get too cold, it will start to crack the bottom. So some things that you can do to avoid cracking the bottom are keep the heat on there and make sure that the bottom is thick. I'm gonna knock it off with my tweezers. There we go. And now I'll grab my mini torch and just go onto the bottom and go ahead and polish that off. Gonna heat that and then make sure that's nice and smooth. I'm going to start off with some purple color, and I'm going to wrap this around my blow tube, and then I'm going to start to gather on the purple color. Try not to fold it or bend it or anything like that. So I'm just heating it up and pushing it on and together. There you go. You can start to see the gather happening. And there's a lot of videos where I've done this particular technique where I'm doing a blowout, so you can definitely check and see the different techniques and how to do that from some of the other videos that I've done. So I'm heating it up and gathering all this purple on there. The important thing to remember when you're trying to build solid color blowouts is that you don't want to fold the glass or put it on when it's too cold, because you'll start to create lines or weird marks and things like that. So here we go, we're just going to put that together. Alright, melt that in a little bit. And now I'm going to grab a little bit of another color and just kind of add a little bit to this blowout. This is, I believe it's Nemo blue. It's a really beautiful transparent blue. And I got a special treat for you guys. I wanted to show you what it's like in the workshop at points. Sometimes we put up a 3 or even a 4 camera angle at once so that you guys can see how it looks from different angles and give you as much advantage as you can when you're trying to learn this at home. So I'll be showing you guys that a couple more times throughout the video, but if you'd like to see more multiple camera angles and some really interesting work on making wigwags, make sure you sign up for the Gus Glass class that's coming up a week from Saturday. So just in 6 days from now. There's still room in the class. Go to revereglass.com and go ahead and sign up for that Gus Glass workshop. It's a master class in line work and wigwags. Super excited to host him. It's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so now I got some of that blue on there. I am going to heat up a little bit of that sparkly green and then put that on there as well. And this is kind of a big blowout, but that's okay. We're going to add a little bit of color on here and it should look good. Alright, so heat this up now and we're going to add some green. And this is about as big as I would want to get on a blow tube. If I was going to get much bigger than that, I would definitely use multiple sections. But once it gets to be this big, it can be a little bit difficult to use and to heat up. So I want to make sure I get a lot of heat into here. I'm going to marver that. And I really like this low placement marver next to my torch. That's a blast shield marver. You guys are welcome to grab that from Mountain Glass Arts. Just tell Joe that you saw it in a video and I think he'll probably even give you a little discount. Just going to heat this up. I have my Delta Mag flame turned on right now because I want to try to get in as much heat as possible. And that torch, that bigger torch, is going to allow me to do that. Just marver a little bit. And then I got a couple more 3 camera angle shots for you guys. You can check this out. So there you go. You can see the top, the side view, the over the shoulder, and there I'm blowing it out. All right, pop that back in the flame. And then I'm going to heat this up and marver it out, even out the walls a little bit. And then we're going to detach it off of the blow tube and onto a glass blow tube. The metal and the glass are not compatible, as you guys know, and for that reason I want to get it off the blow tube as soon as possible. So I'm just seeing if that's going to fit in there. Make it, maybe marver it down a little bit more. Alright, kind of got that more narrow, and I'm going to pick that out and then attach my clear blow tube. Pulling that out and picking that out. There we go. We're going to open this up, heat it up, and open my clear blow tube a little bit to make sure that it's the nice size. It'll fit nicely onto there. And there you go. You can see those 3 camera angles, me attaching the piece. And now I'm going to take this off of the metal blow tube and I'll put it into the mold eventually. There's a little bit of a line where the bubble was in 2 places at once, and if you heat that up, it'll totally make that line disappear. You'll see in just a second here. I'm gonna marver that, blow a little bit, heating up and condensing the walls. A lot of times you guys ask me how to make the walls even. What I'm doing right here is exactly that. So I heat it up, I blow a little bit, and then let it collapse. And that process helps me keep the walls nice and even. Push that all the way in the mold, and I'm gonna blow really hard, pop that out of the mold. And there we go. So I'm going to heat this up. All right. And now I'm going to blow this out. So I'm looking at it as I'm blowing. Let's try to expand this. And there you can see the whole thing expanding, coming nice and round. All right, you can see those cool lines that the mold is making in there. And then we're going to heat that, blow a little bit, cover the hole in the blow tube with my finger and push down. And that's going to make that nice flat bottom so the pumpkin will sit up on the table. This is the biggest pumpkin that we're going to be making today. We'll make a total of 3 pumpkins today. And of course these pumpkins are for you guys. Just comment in the video. Let me know what you love about pumpkins and I'll ship one out to you guys. So I'm going to pop the hole in the bottom like I did last time. And now attach the punty, making sure that that stays nice and warm. All right, now it's time to remove the clear blow tube. I really like the effect that this mold does. There's so many different cool techniques that you could use with this. We're just making pumpkins today, but think about all the possibilities that kind of shaping could give to your work. We'll heat up the top of this, let that flatten out a little bit. Alright, and once I have that ready to go, I'm going to heat up some other color, which is going to be some sparkly green, and then I'm going to attach the vine of the pumpkin. So I got my mold set up over there next to me, ready to go. And then heat up some, on this one I think I'm going to use the unobtainium color, another super cool North Star color, and I think it has a little bit of compatibility issues when used on the inside out style of work, but using it in solid color like this for sculptural purposes, I've never had any issues with it. But let me know what you guys think of this color. Alright, so I'll heat that up and then get this all ready to go in the mold. And there we go. As you can see, it's getting a little floppy here. So I'll remove this clear from it and then attach it to a little bit thicker rod. So this is now a 10mm rod. It gives me a little bit more stability. I'll remove any excess. Alright, and then push this in the mold. And there we go. Making that nice lines on there. That'll be a cool pattern for me to twist up. Get that mold popped off of there. Don't touch it because that mold is definitely hot after this point. Alright, now I need another 10mm rod here. I'm going to heat this up with my Lynx flame and then start twisting. And that'll make a really cool spirally effect that just kind of mimics what a plant stem would look like. Speed this up a little bit for you guys, 2 times the speed. Alright, pull this out, and then once I pull this out, I'll be able to twist it up a little bit, and then I'm going to take it off the bottom. I really like the way that this bottom piece looks, and I wanted to kind of leave that taper in that weird kind of organic shape, and I feel like that would be a really cool look for the top of a pumpkin. So I'm just going to heat this up. I don't want to heat up the pumpkin itself too much, mostly the stem. Push that on there. I can remove the clear glass. Alright, and then now that I've removed the clear glass, I will go around with my mini torch on the pumpkin on the top where the vine is connected to the pumpkin, and just make sure that that's all melted in nicely. Alright, heat this up. And just going around it. This might take a little second because this is especially the unobtainium glass is pretty stiff, and so I did switch over to my dark glasses when I do this because it's so bright with that little mini torch on the stem of the pumpkin. So I'm going to heat it up, make sure it's nice and even. Keeping it warm is to not crack it. I'll push this down into place, give it a nice good heat around the bottom because I definitely don't want to crack it, and then I'll pop it off. There we go. I'll grab my mini torch and heat up the bottom. You can see the hole that I made in there, and now I'm just heating up the punty mark. And I'll grab that with some Kevlar tongs and go ahead and put that in the kiln. Alright, you guys, the last one I wanted to show you is with some line work, just for fun. Kind of see what that looks like. It creates this pretty cool wavy pattern. This is one of my line work tubes that I pulled. I like to pull my own vac stack tubing so I can make my own colors. There's definitely some videos on that. So I'm going to twist this up. And there we go. I'm going to blow into here a little bit, make sure that it's even walls and thick enough to get into that mold. Remove the bottom, any excess weird glass or it didn't twist quite properly. Heat this up, make sure there's a lot of nice good heat in there. And I really like this color pattern. This was the same color pattern that I made with Alderson glass on our collaboration piece. Put this in here below, and there you go. You can see the lines coming in. I love this 3-camera look so you guys can see from different angles what's going on. Alright, look at that, nice and even, beautiful lines in there. Now we're going to do the same thing, heat this up, and blow just a little bit. So I'm going to heat it, and you can see those lines just blow really nice and even. You don't want to put too much heat into here because of course you want those lines to remain. There we go. Look at that beautiful, beautiful even blowout with those cool lines in there. Alright, so now after I get this blown out, I'm going to heat up the bottom, make sure that this will sit nicely on the table. So heat that up and then push down, and that creates a nice flat bottom. Alright, and now I'm going to of course pop my little hole in there. There we go. Heat that up and blow a little bit, pop that hole just like you were popping a carb or a little hole for a bowl push. Now I'm going to attach the punty, making sure that both are hot, and I always want to keep that pretty warm while the punty's on there because attaching a punty on the bottom like this can definitely make some stress for the glass. Alright, so now I'm going to remove that excess glass and of course make sure that that's a little bit flatter and create a space for me to attach the stem. There we go. Thicken that up a little bit and put that in the kiln for a second. Alright, now I'm going to heat up this green. And then I'm going to put this green into that mold again to create that cool vine look. Push that in, you can see that from 3 sides, very cool here. Pop that mold off. And now I'm going to go in with my 10mm rod on both sides. And I'm just going to start to twist this up and make that vine looking part for the top of the pumpkin. So twist that all the way up, add some heat into here, and then I'm going to be able to twist that around and curve it, make kind of a cool organic vine shape. These pumpkins are pretty fast. Each one took me about 15 minutes, so working for a few hours you could definitely make a nice cool pumpkin patch. So get some more heat into here, create a nice organic twist, and then I'm going to get this ready to attach, and I'm going to remove the weird bigger side again, and that's going to create a nice top of the vine, or top of the pumpkin, bottom of the vine piece. I'm going to heat this up and attach it. Alright, making sure that the vine is hotter than the pumpkin itself. Pop that on there. And there we go. It looks like it's kind of growing out of there. Remove my original 10mm punty. And now I'm going to go around with my mini torch, just making sure that that's all the way sealed in. You want to go around the whole thing. Just take your time. I'm adding a little bit more heat in there on the bottom especially. Making sure that that's nice and fully melted in. There we go. Add a little bit more heat. Pop that off. Knock it off with my tweezers, the back of my tweezers. Then I'll grab my mini torch, heat up the bottom. All right, I'll grab that with my Kevlar pads and put that in the kiln. All right, you can check out these pumpkins here. There's that carmeline one in the front with the sparkle. And then there's the one with the 3 colors on the inside. That's looking pretty cool. And of course the Linework one. I really like the wavy lines that happen there. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about how these come out and probably want to make a little batch for next year as well. Thanks a lot for checking out these pumpkins, you guys, and I'll be back soon with another video. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. That was super fun to make those pumpkins, and I really am happy that I got to use one of those Italian molds. You guys can fabricate one of those molds. They're pretty simple to make, or you can order one, something similar, probably from Mountain Glass Arts. I have a few questions that you guys have asked. One is a question that I get pretty frequently. How do you set up ventilation? What are the right steps to do? How do you do it? It seems complicated. It's not really. The very simplest way that you could probably do this is use one of those grow hoods, like a grow light that has an 8-inch duct, and hook that 8-inch duct into an inline duct fan. You can get both of these supplies at any grow shop, and that'll work just fine to ventilate your studio. Make sure that that's going outside and that there's good suction in the hood. The next question is from James Long. And this is another good question that I often get about what kind of equipment or tools do you need to get started. The first thing I would suggest is that you join revereglass.com. That way I can help guide you along your journey with glass, and it's really affordable, so anyone can do it. Once you're there, I can help guide you, but the general answer is go to Mountain Glass Arts and buy one of their beginner kits. You can get something for as cheap as about $500, or you can get one of the kits that I designed that are a bit more expensive, but they're really designed for someone who wants to pursue this more seriously. Definitely look through what I chose in my kits, and you can make alterations and just order what you think you'll need. The next question is from Thomas Robinson, and he's asking about wall thickness and how to get the wall thickness that you'd like. The best way to do that is to blow your bubble thin and then heat it up with a slow bushy flame and let that condense. You can blow that up a couple times, and that'll help even out the bubble, and you'll be able to adjust the wall thickness to whatever thickness that you'd like. Go ahead and practice that on clear so you can see the thickness of the wall, and then you'll be able to switch to color using the feeling that you've gotten from using the clear. All right, you guys, it's time to give away a couple things. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. The first thing I'm going to be giving away is this V-Blade. The V-Blade is going to Mike McCown. Thank you so much for watching the videos and your support. Enjoy this, and I hope it adds something special to your studio. Just go to the website, revereglass.com, use the chat on any of the pages to let us know it's you, and we'll ship it right out to you. We're going to be giving away these Terp screws to Pascal Sophia. Thank you so much for your support. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the Dakota Madrona video. It was such a pleasure and an honor having him. So you're super lucky to get these Terp screws. Just let us know where to send them by going to revereglass.com. Use that chat on the right-hand corner of any page. Let us know it's you, and we'll ship them right out. Thanks, Pascal. Thank all you guys for watching the videos. Make sure you comment on this video to win a pumpkin or the diamond shears. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching.